Okay, so what I have here on the bench this evening is probably one of the most extreme repairs that I've come across to do. Um, and it has to do with fixing the MacBook Flexgate problem. So, MacBooks 2016, 2017, they made the LCD light connector instead of using coax cable like they have done in the past, and like many other manufacturers do. They switched over to a flex cable. So something. This is actually a piece of it that I've cut off. So, but they didn't make it quite long enough, and then what happens is as the lid opens and closes and opens and closes, the flex cable not having enough room to give, it eventually snaps. So, I turned away one of these many years ago, or probably about 3 years ago. Somebody brought one to me, and I just said, I knew my skills weren't up to par to do it, um, and I've turned away a couple of them since then. But as circumstance and happenstance would have it, another one came into the shop, and I thought, I'm going to give it a try. So, my first thought, honest to goodness, was I was just going to see if I could bridge the connections and maybe recreate the cable. And then I went on YouTube, of course, naturally, because if I'm thinking of it, somebody's already done it before, and somebody had done it, and I thought it was an interesting fix. But when it got done, I looked at it and I said, that's not going to last. Sure enough, when I went back into that same person's video feed, that's exactly what he did. He said, this is not, it worked for about 3 months, and then the person brought it back because it quit, because it just wasn't, the wires were exposed, and all kind of problems. So, long story short, I came up with a different fix, and again, I thought of this fix. I go to YouTube to see if somebody else had thought of it, and they thought of it, and somebody else has done it. So it's just basically taking and bridging the connection between a replacement cable with the new cable. And I watched there about 5 or 6 different videos of guys who've done this before, and each of them did it slightly bit differently. But probably the best method I saw, that's the method I decided I'm going to go with. So here I am this evening, and I've got the Mac apart. We did that a couple of days ago, put it off to the side because this is something, it's a job that I need absolute concentration with minimal distractions. So it's not something I can do during normal hours of operation, so I've got to do it after hours, which has been a big problem for me the last month. I haven't been able to get in very often after hours. I've got so many other things going on. So this evening, I said, I've had this guy's MacBook for almost a month, I think, which, I, I I'm a month behind on all my backlog anyways, but I really wanted to put this up a little bit further. Anyways, here I am this evening. I have it on the bench, and just to kind of give you an idea of what's got to go through, let's see, I'm going to see if I can turn my camera around. It does not want to allow me to do that. Let me pause. All right, so here's the MacBook, and there is, I've removed it. What you have to do is scrape off the till you get down to the copper to get to it. So I've cut off the old FPC cable right at where the break was, and I've scraped off to where I can get down to the copper. Then I have to come over here to the scope and do the same thing on here. So I'm getting ready, and I wanted to show you for perspective kind of how tiny this is. Let's say, look in there's my index finger right there. That's how tiny they are, and it's very, very thin. It's this thin cable, so you've got to scrape off that, and then I can, at that point when I get that exposed, then I can add some solder to it, and then hopefully pancake the two together, and then solder both joints together, and then we should be back in business. So quite a big job. I'll check back in when it's all done and see if this works well. Okay, so I've gotten it to, I've soldered the both ends, and now I've soldered the joint back together. So there is the new improved cable. So let's go from here and see if we can get this sucker lit up like a Christmas tree. All right, I had to stop my Huey Lewis in the news, because or else YouTube and Facebook and anywhere else I post this is going to flag me. But put some Kapton tape around it, and let's get her back together. Now that is a fantastic sign. We're going to let this charge up, and this should be booting up soon. Now that is exactly what we were looking for. Take that, Flexgate. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, we're gonna put it back together and call it a night. Okay, finished product. Let's see. There we go. Look at that. It comes open and on. That is, move it around. Now see, before when he brought this in, and I didn't think to make a video of it, it would only show when you held it open that way. You know, then you could look down here and you would see the internals like that. But as soon as it got to this, you know, just past that is when it would actually shut off, and you'd have a blank screen, even though the computer's still running. So that is a Flexgate fix.